Wonderful. How is mommy and daddy? Are they also good? That is very good. What about aunt? Very good. So it is now time for literacy 1B. It is time for literacy 1B. I call upon your attention. Very good. So we are still talking about resources. Don't get tired. We are still talking about resources. And today's lesson we are going to talk about fuel as a resource. Fuel as a resource. The other lesson was about food as a resource. Do you still remember what food is? What did we say? Food is something good to eat or drink. That is very good. You still remember examples of food? Places where we get food? What of the sources of food? Do you still remember all of them? Then you are wonderful children. So let us now see fuel as a resource. Let us talk about fuel as a resource. What is fuel? What is the fuel? You just simply say fuel is something that burns. Fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. Are we there? Fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. Should I repeat once more? Fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. You have been using fuel. You're going to see. You might be wondering, fuel. Yes, but you're going to see more about fuel. First of all, the definition of fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. We have here types of fuel. Types of fuel. We have two. We have what we call fossil. Fossil. Can you say fossil? Good. Fossil fuel. Then we have wood fuel. There are two types of fuel. We have the fossil fuel and then the wood fuel. Children, what have I said? What is fuel? I have said fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. And I have said we have only two types of fuel. The first one is what we call the fossil fuel, and then the other one is what we call the wood fuel. What does it mean? What is wood fuel? Wood fuel is fuel got from plants. Fuel got from plants. Let's say firewood and then charcoal. Firewood and then charcoal. That one is under wood fuel. When you buy your charcoal and you are using it to cook food, that is fuel. That is fuel, and it is under wood fuel. Are we together? You have bought your charcoal. It is going to do for you work. Yes, of cooking. Work of cooking. That's why I told you fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. So here when you talk about fuel and you have bought charcoal here, it is going to be for you work of cooking, and at the end you're going to get food. Are we together? So it is fuel. Charcoal is fuel. Even those ones who use firewood. Firewood is also fuel because it is going to do for you work. Work of cooking still. Work of cooking. So you're going to use firewood to cook food, and at the end you're going to enjoy it. So also firewood is fuel, and it is under wood fuel. Let's talk about fossil fuel. Fossil fuel. The same is fuel got from minerals. Fuel got from minerals. It is called fossil fuel. It is not again wood fuel. Are we together? We have said we have only two types of fuel. The wood fuel and then the fossil fuel. So here they're saying the fossil fuel is fuel got from minerals. Got from minerals. E.g., petrol, paraffin, diesel. All these ones here are under fossil fuel. They are under fossil fuel. Examples of petrol stations. Examples of petrol stations. We have Shell. We have Shell. If daddy has a car or mommy, then you might go to any of these petrol stations. Are we there? Yes, so we can either go to Shell, Gapco, Total, Mogas, City Oil, and so on. You can go there and you put fuel there in your vehicle. Are we together? So all of these ones are under fossil fuel. Under fossil fuel. You should know the difference between wood fuel and then the fossil fuel. Wood fuel we only get firewood and then charcoal. But for the fossil fuel we get what we call the petrol, paraffin, diesel. And the places where we get these, we call them examples of petrol stations. You can go to either the Shells, Gapco, Total, Mogas, City Oil, and then so on. We can go there and still we put there in our vehicles what we call fuel. And at the end, it is going to help you to do work of transporting you from one place to another. Are we together? That's why we said fuel is something that burns and produces heat or power to do work. Here they're saying uses of fuel. Uses of fuel. Fuel is used to run machines. Fuel is used to run machines. Helps in supplying light in our homes. Help in supplying light in our homes. For example, which one is used to supply light in our homes? Yes? Like the paraffin. For those who don't use electricity, we can use paraffin. We can use it, paraffin. You can either put in your candle and you also still get what? You get light. Here they're saying fuel is a source of income. Is a source of income. How? All of these people who sell petrol, paraffin, diesel, they get money out of it. They get money out of it. That's why we say fuel is a source of income. Those people you go and you branch, somebody is putting what? Putting something, fuel in your vehicle. That person is not doing for only or for voluntary work. Is going to get money out of that. You are going to pull something, you give to that person. That is income or money. Fuel is a source of income. Fuel is a source of income. Then here they're saying fuel runs vehicles. Like as I have already told you, you have your car, you go there to any petrol stations and they put in fuel. They can either put anything there to run your vehicle. So that's why they've said fuel runs vehicles. You cannot have a car without fuel. You cannot run a car without fuel. Instead, it will just be there for fun, maybe to play with just at home. You sit in it, but without fuel, you cannot move it. You cannot move it or you cannot run it. Are we together? So we need fuel to run vehicles. These are the uses of fuel. The uses of fuel. If they tell you, list down two types of fuel. What do you give? Types of fuel? I say they are only two, the wood fuel and then the fossil fuel. Wood got from plants, wood fuel got from plants, but the fossil fuel is got from minerals. Are we together? Then when they tell you list down any 3 examples of petrol stations, 3 examples of petrol stations found in your sub-county. Which petrol stations are you find there within your locality? You find there the Shell, the Gapco, the Total, the Mogas, the City Oil. When they tell you give at least 2 uses or importance of fuel, just say helps to run machines, runs vehicles. Fuel is a source of income. Are we together, children? Will you confuse the types of fuel? No, just no wood goes from what? From plants. And which wood do we get from plants? We get only firewood and then the charcoal. Are we together, children? Thank you very much, you wonderful children. Make sure you use the best of your handwriting as usual and underline your answers, avoid crossing. That is good. Thank you very much. Stay home and stay safe.